Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Strangers in the Night, your bi-monthly source of late night VR gaming talk. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, are my good friends Eric and Ruuts. Ruuts, we did it. Back for one more.
Yeah, we did it. We did it for the episode. We got the audio working, and yeah, and I guess it's good that there's so many other. Oh, and you guys, my stream. You still got my stream, right? Hey, what's going on?
All right, so take two. I think we're back now for the moment.
Yeah.
Hello, once again, everyone. Welcome back to Strangers in the Night. Man, I mean, I guess it's kind of par for the course, right? We haven't been around for the last month, so I guess all of those technical issues have been gathering,
Stacking up.
saving up, stacking up, and now we've got it kind of coming at us full tilt.
I literally just should have mic dropped that one and just fuck it, didn't come back.
We like that's
See what
it.
happens.
Yeah. Well, we'll try again next month, 2 months from now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was saying, speaking of bi-monthly, it's good that there's so many other options out there, that all the other podcasts are putting
wait a
out
minute.
tons of episodes like Q2C and and Alex.
Is that
and
a show?
Shiva's.
Is that something?
Yeah. It's just, I guess that's what I'm hearing. That's what Dee was telling me at one point, that it's been pretty dry out there. I know that you still got Gary and Fluke in them pretty religiously, but other than that, I don't think there's many others out there.
Yeah. Recentered's been doing episodes. Rough Talk, still doing episodes, and then of course, we're still trucking right along with Without Parole.
No, it's
for
true.
those of you out there that are into PSVR too. But Eric, I mean, it's not for lack of trying, right? Like we try. We have every intent to come on here and do episodes, but it seems like every time we decide to do something, it's like moving heaven and earth just to get to this point that we're at right now.
And who'd have thought, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that like we would get to the point where we were working so much in VR that we had no time to play VR or do podcasts about VR anymore. But yeah, I mean, here we are. I don't know. It was like we even decided to try to do an episode last night, and we got to like later in the afternoon. And I'm like, guys, any chance we can do it tomorrow? Because I'm still slammed. But hey, we're here now. That's the main thing.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
you guys not getting a chance to get into VR is worth the sacrifice. Your sacrifice and what you're doing for VR as a whole. I think it's worth it. You guys might not feel like it, but it's definitely worth it.
You know who else has a hole that's worth it, Roots?
My mom.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does. She's. You know who else is bi-monthly? Or wait, no, is she monthly or no? I don't know. She might be bi-monthly.
Just buy all the time, right?
Yeah, if she's bi-monthly, then that's probably the problem.
Yeah.
I gotta say though, guys, I mean, we've been away from YouTube for a little while. We've been busy in the background working. We went to GDC. I don't even know if we've been live here since we came back from GDC, but we picked a good time to get back in it, right? Get back on the horse. I mean, so many good things dropping on the store over the course of the last couple of weeks. Like, I finally got this graphics card installed into my machine yesterday.
Nice.
But now that I can play like literally any flat game that I need to in VR, like now Hitman's dropping, Wanderer's dropping, we got this pinball game, so many other games as well have dropped and are dropping weekly on the store. I feel like we're getting back into it pretty much right in the nick of time. Like it's an amazing time to be a VR gamer right now.
It's crazy. What flat games were you thinking about getting into? Or were you being facetious?
No. I mean, that was the point, right? It was the point of getting the graphics card is so that I could
play flat games.
mod.
I get it. Oh, yeah, those games. I gotcha. I thought you were talking about like flat games like Schedule 1. You haven't been creating a marijuana lab or meth lab or whatever.
Well, you have.
Doesn't want to do that.
Have you seen that game? Dude, it's getting so deep, and what's so impressive outside of how cool just the gameplay is. It's not groundbreaking, but it's one dev, and he's already sold like millions of copies. It's ridiculous. I just think it's awesome. So it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Somebody to see someone that's finally kind of taken that idea and done something worthwhile with it. I haven't watched any like gameplay footage of it. It was something I noticed a few weeks back when I was just kind of skimming the store looking for things that maybe I'll try to mod at some point, and I came across it, and it has that look to it like kind of like a Squanch Games title, the way the art is in it.
Squanch Games? What do they make?
The Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
High on Life.
High on Life. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Tech
it looked really cool.
He's got it to work in Unity, the Unity mod, but he said the hands are kind of weird or something. So,
can you just use like gamepad gamepad style controls with it?
Well, I mean, he said it looks weird as far as ours. There is no game controller. But through Steam, I was able to use a controller because somebody's already made different stuff. But I played it so much that first day when I streamed it, like my wrist on my hand was hurting. It's like I had to stop. That's a long stream.
Discord says you have like 20 or 30 hours in that game or something crazy like that. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, D and I. So that's what's kind of cool is it's 4-player co-op, and it's kind of set up where like Pow World or whatever, where somebody joins your world and everybody works together in that world, and you can help like advance, all the different stuff. I just unlocked the meth lab, and I'm giving away free samples. And I need to give them to my dealer, Benji. I need to get some rocks to him, but it's just pretty cool. And like I said, he joined into my world and has been helping. So
you're like Walter White.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, man. I'm glad you've been getting along with that game. It must have a pretty addictive loop, or else you wouldn't be putting that kind of time in it. I hadn't played anything up until just a few days ago. I got in and did some Wanderer. Wanderer finally dropped on the PlayStation Store. Didn't get a chance to play a ton of it, but played through like the first hour, 90 minutes or something like that. And so far so good, although I'm hearing that if you go super late in the game, there's some jank that they need to work through. But lucky for them, that's not what's on the menu for us this week. This week, we decided to go chronologically and basically pick back up with the latest chapter in the ongoing saga, which is Hitman VR. And we'll be talking a little bit more about that in a few minutes. And then, of course, when Pinball FX VR was announced a few weeks back, there could be no doubt that we were going to be all over this one. Ruuts, Pinball FX2 VR, the kind of the older title, you've been singing the praises of that one for years, and I never played it. I never played any Pinball FX games other than the Star Wars one that came out a few years ago. So this was kind of my first journey into Pinball FX. So excited to be able to get in and talk about that experience as well.
Yep. Yeah, it was super cool.
Lots to say.
Yeah, tons. Actually, I do have a lot.
I do too. I really do. No, I'm being serious. I have lots to say. I probably have more to say about that than Hitman, to be honest.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I do, and not that I enjoyed one more over the other. I just think.
How many times have we?
We'll get into it,
but this will be like
Hitman's
the fourth
Hitman.
or fifth.
It's been 4 fucking games here with Hitman. I know, right?
But I mean, we'll still have our conversation on it. But I kind of feel you, Eric. I'm kind of more in the same boat.
Okay, so you guys were both talking, so I didn't catch any of that. But I am in suspense now. I want to hear what you guys are obviously vibing on there. So we need to kick things off the way we always do and say hello to our friends in chat. Chrome Colossus is here. Says, I wish Pinball FX was on PSVR 2. Well, cross your fingers, hold your breath. Maybe sooner or later we'll see that. Chinatown D is here. Awesome Tatum. Philosix is here. Bad Robo in the house as well. Not sure Brondo. Inferno 9 all here. We have a Brian Paul sighting. What's up,
Ooh.
Brian? Good to see you. Jasmine's here. What's up, Jasmine?
Up, Jazz?
She says I have to go buy soil from Home Depot. Jasmine has 25 pot plants in her apartment. Did
Just
you guys know
25
that?
pot plants or potted plants?
Oh, did I get it wrong? Did I say that wrong?
Maybe not. Maybe she has 25 pot plants. I don't know. Maybe she's becoming Walter White.
Well, she does live in California, like Colorado. You can grow several plants legally.
True that.
That's the
It's
way to
all
get
for
yourself
personal
arrested. Is just the way you say things can get you in a lot of trouble.
Just make
25
sure
pot plants or 25 potted plants?
you got to make
25
sure. Or
potted plants.
potted plants. What does she have in
Potted plants.
I like potted.
I don't-
I like pot plants better.
there? Potted
But,
plants of pot.
But if you have that many plants growing in your underground, in your apartment, you have to have a good supply of soil. So, Home Depot trip it is for.
I did
Thanks for
the
stopping by.
count in my house last night because we had this little thing of figuring out how many plants everybody has. I have no idea what we're talking. Like, we have so much time on our hands at VR Studios. We're counting how many plants that we each
Don't have
in our
time
house.
for VR, but you have time to count the plants.
Right.
But I had to go count in my house, and I have a whopping 0.0 in my
Yeah.
house. I have one fake fucking tree in the corner of my house. Like, me and my wife would kill, but we can barely keep my daughter alive. Forget about plants. Never.
Yeah,
I don't need plants in here. I don't. There's so I live in the country, so like, it's a part of life here just to try to beat the vegetation out of my living space.
What about all the water, though? Are you guys flooding? I saw some restaurant
Yeah.
that was under 6 feet of water or something.
Wow.
And they flooded it on purpose with clean water to offset the dirty water on the other side of the. I don't know. It was a very bizarre news piece, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. It's like those people that set fires to stop fires.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I kind of get it with the fire, but with the water, that just really doesn't make much sense. But it is Kentucky, so I guess don't knock it till you try.
Anything goes, even cousins.
What?
Salvador is here. Hello, Salvador. Alihimbe D 2-year underground stranger game cat. What up? Mad Vegan is here. What's up? Grandpa Barbecue with the Game Cat is here. That dank cheese as well. Techno Glitch is here. Old Darth is here as well. Chatty's here. It's like the whole crew's here just about. Game Cat Behemoth is in the house. Rogue TR is here. Who else? VR SpryGuy. Happy birthday, SpryGuy. Zell 2318, otherwise known as Zell 2318,
Nice.
is here. Who else? Evan Yabu, what's up? Philosix is here, what's up? Traveling Man, stop by for a minute to say goodnight. Hello, future Traveling Man, watching this tomorrow.
What's up, traveling
Thanks
man?
for stopping by. Luke Sparling, same thing. Was dropping by to say good night. Good night, Luke. See you soon. Son WTF is here. Says Hitman, let's go. Yeah, what's up? And that is as far as I can scroll. Anyone slip in at the bottom? I'm sure we had one or two, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Stig, Kramer 3K.
Certainly did. Kramer 3K. The Stig is here. Four Wheeling. Johnny Rypop. What's up, Rypop? Haven't seen you for a bit. Thanks for stopping by. Kevin Tech Kevin Take. Michelle B is here. Maddie Fat Batcat. That's my favorite name to say every time, by the way. Maddie Fat Batcat.
This rolls off the tongue.
Seriously.
It certainly does. Who else? Any other slippies? I don't think so. I think that is everyone. If I missed you, apologies. Welcome. Thank you, everyone, for not forgetting about us. Jesus, man, it's been such a long time. Just before I forget about it, stay tuned. Like I said at the top of the show, my 5090 is installed. It's been installed for about, I don't know, 30 hours or so. Everything. It's so quiet, Ruuts. It makes not a sound. I haven't heard a fan kick on since I started this thing.
And you probably won't. And you won't
and
hear
I
any of
probably
that
won't,
jank
yeah.
bullshit that you've been dealing with that I am very well versed in with the EVGA. I love EVGA, but something was with that model. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, outside of the fan that needs replaced on that, I don't think that was the source of my crashing. It could be, but I honestly think it was the EVGA,
PSU.
the power supply. Yeah,
Ooh, the power supply, huh?
Did you get
Yeah,
the backup battery thing?
Not yet. No, I don't
you
have a
need to
backup.
get it. Yeah, with all your storms and stuff, man. That should be
Yeah.
priority one.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. Money's tight, so it's hard to go drop a couple $100s on stuff like that right now. But
Make
I
your
really
boss
need
do
to.
it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I have no idea who that is, but yeah.
But anyway, as I was saying, as promised, I haven't played any games on it yet. I promised the people that donated to the fundraiser that they would pick the first games that I play on it.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going to do. So what I was saying is stay tuned because I plan on streaming very frequently over the course of the next however long it takes me to get through the 5 games. We're going to do Vertigo 2. That was the choice of the mystery donor who chose to be anonymous. We're going to do the Talos Principle that came from Looper. We're going to do Ad Infinitum, which is a horror game. It's an indie horror game on Steam. We're going to do Legendary Tales from BJ from Urban Wolf Studios. He donated like $150, so we're going to do that. And we're going to do Lies of P, a mod. Out of the 5 games, we got 1 mod. 2.
So weird.
Ad Infinitum and Lies of P.
Did you add that to the library yet, Liza P?
No, I have not,
Okay.
but I will be. I will be.
I've
I think it
almost
might
bought-
be on. It might be on Game Pass. I haven't checked yet. But,
Okay, yeah, but I thought about buying that a couple different times because
it looks cool. Looks
soul-like game, yeah, and
it looks
people
cool,
say it's
don't
pretty
it?
cool.
Yeah. It has cool art direction.
Those
So
were
we're
not,
going to be
not the games I would have picked. Like, to test out a 5090, I'm like,
Yeah, but this is everybody's choices. But I was thinking the same thing as they were going down the list. I'm like, it's like when I
Talos
make
Principle?
It's the joke that I make, or would make playing World of Warcraft to people that I bought my 4090 to really crank the graphics up on a 20-year-old game, right? Yeah, so,
Well, I got to say though, man, I'm pretty happy with the choices people made. You know, Vertigo 2 and Legendary Tales. Sure, I've played them before. I love those are both like awesome fucking games.
Sure.
Ad Infinitum, horror indie horror game. Sign me up, please. And then the Liza P looks cool. And then Talos Principle, that's something that Scion's been asking me to play for years.
Oh, really?
And I haven't ever played it, so I'm going to be able to go into it. It's supposed to be like a beautiful game as it is, but I'm going to go in, put everything on ultra, crank up the super sampling, probably play it either in my PSVR 2 or my Reverb G2, so that it's like super beautiful and the field of view is good. I'm not upset with those games at all. On top of that, tentatively scheduled for our next episode is Game of the Month. And Game of the Month this time is going to be like it was last time, 2 months. So we're going to be doing Game of the Month for February and March.
Game of the
And
months.
Game of the Months, right. So we're going to be having Looper and D come back in either this weekend or maybe next week, Monday, and talking about a ton of good stuff that has come out since the last time. So, yeah, while it's true we have been absent for some time, most of the year, honestly, this first third of the year we've been very sporadic. That's about to change in a big way, and I promise you that. So we're back in, or at least I am. I'm all in and ready to get back to doing what I love to do, and that is playing games in VR and coming on here and talking about it. So, anyway, Philosophy wants to know, does it play Crysis? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But it probably will. They did mod that one, and everyone kind of raved about the Crysis VR mod. Eric, did you get a chance to check out Crysis VR mod? Probably not, right?
I didn't. I mean, I talked to Cab about it quite a bit. You know, he was just telling me like the process he went through and did it. Like, you know, Cab's working full time for us on freaking on RoboQuest VR, and in his part time, you know, during the fall and some of the holiday season, he basically built that Crisis. You know, he built that Crisis mod. So he kind of told me the process of what he did and how he got it in there. But I just haven't had a chance to try it.
Yeah, people in the Discord were raving about it when it got announced. I know Slime Rancher VR just
Yeah.
got announced yesterday, and that's a that's a game that my children have loved for a long time. So it's cool to see that one get a full on VR mod with motion controls and everything. Who was it in the chat? Tatum says 5090 Cyberpunk is the first game I play.
That's a good one.
And I have a few of those like that, Roots, that are just games that I've really wanted to fully experience to the best available, best possible, I guess I should say, experience. And now I finally have the hardware to do that. We're going to try to get back in and do Red Dead and GTA. I'll probably get back to some of the oldies and but goodies like Fallout and Skyrim, but like fully mod them out with all of these 1,000 things that people say. So it's a good thing, man. It's a good thing that we have Looper and D to fall back on to do these Game of the Month episodes, because I have a feeling that once I get started on this modding kick, that I'm not going to want to stop anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Virtual Resistance says, what Halo mod? Yeah, the original Halo game got modded a couple months ago. Got a full on VR mod with the motion controls, and that I did try, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, obviously it's a very dated, very old game, and sometimes people forget about that when they mod these really old games, but they did a good job with it, man. The Halo mod's cool. Anyways, that's enough talking about what we're going to do. Let's talk about what we've been doing, and let's start off by talking a little bit about Pinball FX VR. Pinball FX VR launched on the MetaQuest store, I want to say last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday, April. I don't remember what the fucking day is. April 3rd, I want to say. The days all blend together, Eric. You know how it goes.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Thursday, April 3rd, from Zen Studio. I want to go ahead and thank the good people at Zen Studio. Well, for a lot of things. First of all, for providing us with review access, not only to the game itself, but to the all of the DLC that's available at launch, and for being such gracious hosts. When we were in California a couple of weeks ago for GDC, one of the highlights of my trip was being able to stop in and meet Mel Kirk, who is the founder and I don't know if he's CEO or president. I don't know what his title is, but he's the man at Zen Studios, the man behind all of these Pinball FX games. So we had a cool hangout session with him, Miles, myself, Mel, and Tabitha from Uber Strategist. Shout out Tabitha for setting it all up. But it was pretty cool, man. Before the game came out, we had the opportunity to check it all out right there in the hotel suite, along with the mixed reality mode, which is one of the new features of the new Pinball FX. For those of you who are wondering, this is not Pinball FX 2, the previous game that had a VR mode on PlayStation VR and Steam. This is a brand new title, and the way he kind of described it to me, he said that he's kind of looking at Pinball FX2 VR as kind of like classic, deprecated now. Like going forward, Pinball FX VR is the title. This is the one they're going to be supporting going forward, and they have a pretty robust plan to support this down the road with DLCs, new tables. You guys know what the model is with Pinball FX. I'm sorry, Eric.
I was just going to say, I think this is so funny that you said this because this was the main thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Pinball FX 2 is better than this game. Like, that's what I came away from my playthrough. Now, this game is great. I'm not saying this game is not great. I'm just saying Pinball FX 2 is a better game. It's more immersive. It's more VR than this game. There's some things in this game that are definitely better because it's a newer version, but the actual immersion of Pinball FX 2 is better. The tables I thought were better. The environment here in the room is better here, but that was one of the biggest takeaways of this. Like, for me, they should be striving to be what Pinball FX2 was and not this. Like, this doesn't feel immersive enough for me. Feels like I'm just playing a pinball game in VR instead of playing a VR pinball game, if that makes sense.
Okay, so that is interesting because I can't really speak to this. Again, I never played Pinball FX2. The only one that I've played before was the Star Wars pinball game that came out on Quest 2 a couple of years ago, and PlayStation VR, the original PlayStation VR.
I'll give you the biggest example of the biggest difference.
Sure.
And I haven't played every one of these tables. I think I played 5 of them. One of the tables in Pinball FX2 is Jaws. And when you go up to that table and you start the table, the floor around you disappears and it turns into water. And the table that you're on and you're standing on is a little piece of wood of the floor. So everything else breaks away and you're surrounded by water in your room, in your environment. And as you're playing the table, the fucking Jaws shark comes up out of the water and tries to eat you at one point. And I'm just not getting any of that super immersion here. I'm getting a couple of things like, there's Indiana Jones standing next to the machine, but I'm not getting that full immersion of feeling like I'm playing a VR pinball game. Like,
Okay.
For me, they just missed it a little bit here. One of the other ones was, it was a Walking Dead game where the zombies would actually come behind you and like you would literally turn around from the pinball machine and it would be a freaking full-size zombie standing behind you. It was the Telltale Walking Dead. It wasn't the newer one. It was the one from the Telltale. But it was cool because you had the actual characters from Telltale, but the zombies would literally be right behind you. It seemed to me like everything here was like either on the side of the table or right in front of it. And again, I didn't play every one of them, but like the ones I did play, the tables themselves were cool, but the VR effects of what that could have been left me like a little bit left.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, and maybe you can chime in on this, Roots, because I don't want to just have a two-way conversation here. Obviously, Pinball FX 2 was not originally developed as a VR game. It was adapted and brought into VR, and by the time it was brought into VR, there was already like a large selection of tables that were available for them to pick and choose from and pretty much an endless supply of DLC. So Eric's pretty much describing a situation here where he's remembering a few of his favorite tables from Pinball FX2 and how the special effects were much more immersive on those tables. Were all of the tables in FX2 on that level?
Yes.
Or
So here's the
okay,
difference, because it wasn't like and you go into this arcade, or it's all together. Like Pinball FX2, it had one table, I believe, and you would switch between tables, and then the table would switch, but the environment never really switched. And then when you started it, it went into its almost like its own instance. It was a little bit different, but every one of the games had an environment that was completely immersive and surrounding you. Right? It was different. It was like Eric said. What's weird is it was in that respect, it was more VR, but I feel like the pinball in these machines are better. I don't know what it was. I thought the pinball playing today, or when I played a couple days ago, I just had more enjoyment of the actual tables. And I felt like they had some elements of VR that I didn't like, that were, I don't remember being in Pinball FX2, but there's in that Raider, the Sun Raider one or whatever, there's a point, or whatever, Star Raider, or what's it called, Star something. When there's a point where it takes you into where you're shooting a cannon, right? There's three windows, and you go to the right and shoot and left, and you're trying to hit these people with a cannon. And I'm like, even though it's in VR and it was cool, I was like, this isn't fucking pinball. I'm like, what is this, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get, like, when you have like this, the Star, and on a different aspect, they did it right, where in the Star Wars table, you're doing stuff, you're controlling guns on the table. But I've seen that in pinball. I just did the way that it went to first person. It was like they were trying to, and I use this loosely, but like use the gimmick of VR. Yeah, we have to put something in here that's like Eric was saying he wants, but I feel like it misses for what this is. But I thought all the pinball tables were super cool, and you know, I think it's more of a win than the few minor misses, I guess, like the atmosphere. But I thought the tables, like even this one, you see the hand, how it does the golf ball, and you hit it, and there's just different little things that you just don't see in a regular pinball table.
yeah, and
I'll just agree with Roots real quick, Wes, that the pinball part of this is I love. Like, I thought it was like, I had fun playing the table. So don't get me wrong. Like, for me, it's the immersion of being in VR is not here for enough for me. But like, the pinball itself is freaking good. It's really good. Like, you're right, Roots. It's way more. I don't know what it is. It just feels smoother and more like pinball.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wes.
yeah, and that was kind of my takeaway from it was, all of the decoration and effects and stuff were cool, and some of them were cooler than others. Like specifically, like the Battlestar Galactica table was really
That was
cool,
cool.
and it had a couple of ships that were battling it out right in front of you, and then like the Knight Rider with the track, and it has
The
kit going
car.
all around you and stuff. Yeah, the effects on those were cool, but my main takeaway was that it was a pretty true to life, um, almost simulation, right? Like the tables felt authentic, and the sound effects I was really kind of impressed with, like hitting the bumpers and you know this this title has a combination of tables that were designed for the game, and then other tables that were
Real tables.
real
Yeah.
life tables from over the decades. And I thought it was kind of cool to just kind of go along to these different tables from different eras, and really how they looked, sounded, and kind of felt, from generation to generation. I thought was pretty well represented with this. But anyways, my kind of I kind of lost my train of thought here with where I was originally going to take that. So you're saying that in FX2 that it wasn't just a situation where there's like a handful of really cool experiences that you're remembering, but really all of them just were a lot more immersive.
But
One thing I know, one thing I noticed when I was going through the settings on this for each table,
Mhm.
is that there are different gameplay modes. There's like the classic mode, and then there was like four modes, and the one on the end was like this, like completely unrealistic arcade mode that gives you like power up abilities and stuff, and like you almost play it like a roguelike, it seemed, where you gotta choose the abilities that you use before you start the game. Have either of you tried that mode? And if so, is that something new to this version, or was that something that's been here all along?
there was nothing like this as far as I remember in Pinball FX. And I do want to add in there too. I think Wes, like we're saying, all the different tables on Pinball FX. I think there was only three. I don't. If I'm remembering,
Pinball FX 2, you mean,
or two. Pinball
Yeah,
FX
there was
2.
there was so it depended on what you bought. They had a ton of downloadable packs. So they had
For VR.
they had the movie packs, right? So they had the I don't remember what the name of the company is, the whatever movie company it was, Warner Brothers or something movie pack, because they had Back to the Future, they had E.T., they had Jaws, and then they had like 4 or 5 generic tables. Then they had that Walking Dead Telltale table.
Oh, that's right. They did have those three that it came
Yeah.
with too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, it was like 3 generic ones, which was like an alien, cowboy alien. There was a cowboy one, an alien one, and like the 1920s kind of like themed one, I thought. And then it had like it had some more that you could buy that were extra, that were the movie ones, which were really really good. Like the Back to the Future one was really good too. That was another immersive one where the DeLorean comes out like on the floor next to you and like does the 88 miles an hour thing and takes off with a flaming trail behind it with like the license plate spinning. Does that whole thing right in front of you, like almost in full size, where it was just super super immersive. Again, but yeah, I thought I would say this has maybe a table or two more than FX2, but it wasn't a ton here. And what does it come with? Like, I know we got them all for free, and thank you again to Zen Studios for hooking both of us up. But what does it come with for when you buy the base game?
I think the Sun
Yeah.
Raider game or table, I believe, or whatever that one is, which I did beat Radio Runt's score, and I did remember D because I told her I couldn't remember. It was Adam's Family that I bitch slapped her score, D.
Oh, you bitch slapped it.
Yeah, because I was watching the game.
Are you the one that got the like 43 million or something?
Yeah,
like
it was.
that?
It was. It was the most ridiculous run on the table because I was watching the
That's awesome.
gameplay and your footage, and I was like, and they started coming back to me. I'm like, holy shit, this was the table. But
One of you had the top score in the Indiana Jones table too, I thought. Or it was Indiana Jones or Star Trek. One of you guys had the top score. It was like 400,000 or 400 million or something like that.
yeah, I don't.
I didn't do the.
I
didn't
did
do
every
the Star
single
Trek
table.
one.
It was either the Star Trek or the Indiana Jones one. You guys had the top
D says bullshits. I am just saying what happened, D. Like I don't even know how it happened because D is so much better at pinball than me. But I just had a good run. It was cool.
It was the Universal movie pack. Sorry, thanks everybody in chat. Universal movie pack.
That wasn't
So-
you, D.
so you-
That was me. That was literally me. I'm
was me,
not
she said.
joking.
Which one was it? Was it the Indiana Jones or was it the Star Trek? The Star Trek one was super cool too. I did like that table. The Indiana Jones had an old school table quality feel to it, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
you guys feel that?
Yeah, it was like
and
an early 90s or early 1990s table, and
But I liked
it felt
it.
like that. Yeah.
Like Ruuts said, the pinball itself is phenomenal. Like for me, there's nothing wrong with the pinball. Like it's actually probably better, the actual pinball, than Pinball FX2. It's just I don't know if they fully took advantage of what they could have done here.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of like when you compare it to something like Pinball FX2, which had years of development behind it before it even came to VR, versus this, which is literally like a new title and starting from the ground up and building going forward. I think that kind of the story here for me is the potential for it, because I
Right.
do think the pinball is pretty awesome, and the arcade, for what it was, as cool as it is laid out, like I'm pretty sure that it's that you can really customize it and make it your own space as you go along. But you already see Roots and D kind of smack talking a little bit with the leaderboard, and it kind of shows you some of the replayability draw to it, and that kind of leads me into where I think is the biggest area of opportunity for a game like this is the multiplayer component. There is no multiplayer in this game currently, and when I was there talking to Mel in the suite, one of the things I asked him, because D told me that I should,
Mhm.
was about the possibility for multiplayer going forward, and he said that that's certainly possible. That is something that they could do. Assuming that enough people are interested and pick up the title and are buying all the DLCs. I think, Eric, that this game has massive potential if they make it into a multiplayer social space where you can bring four or more people into the arcade and have people kind of talking to you while you play. That adds more of that classic real life arcade feel to it. And more importantly, if they do it right and build out all the systems the right way, for the first time, we could really see the first real competition for walkabout mini golf in terms of that go-to casual multiplayer hangout space. Walkabout has dominated this space and is living off of monthly DLC, and everyone buys it, everyone picks it up, and everyone plays it because there is no really alternative. If you want to just go into VR and hang out with some people and do something that's not super intensive but is still fun and competitive, there really isn't anything else. I feel like as they build this game out and bring in more tables and let people customize their space, I think that there is massive potential for this title in that. So I'm really hopeful that they do bring in the multiplayer here. I think it could be big.
How much
Yeah,
does
I agree.
servers cost? Sorry, you think?
I don't know.
I have
Good
no
question.
idea. No
That's a good
idea.
question. But I think it could. I think it could be great. Like, I mean, literally having this space and being able to make it your own. Like, I know in the Star Wars, Pinball One, you were able to like adjust your space and place things where you wanted to place them. I know you can make some changes here in this game. So if you can make your own space and then you can go join other people's space and see how they laid out their arcade. I mean, that would be super cool. Play their machines. Being able to walk up and put a quarter on somebody's machine and challenge them. I mean, that's a cool thing. Like, I know you can actually physically put the quarters in the machine here, which is cool. If you had people in here and you were able to like get two-player going and like call next game, winners. I mean, that would be cool, man. I would love to see that. I think there's a lot of opportunity for them here. I think there's a lot of opportunity to be just like Walkabout and have new arcade machines come every couple of months or every month. Start that cadence of a couple of dollars a month for a new arcade cabinet. I think that's a great idea. There's a lot they could do here, but we gotta support it. So we'll see what happens.
I would straight up steal their model in terms of multiplayer and DLC. I would do it just like they do it. So for those of you curious, the base game of Pinball FX VR is $10. This is a $10 game. You get 3 tables with that. Sky Pirates, Treasures of the Clouds, Pinball Noir, which is one of my favorites actually. Like, even out of all the licensed tables, I really like the Pinball Noir table. And then Curse of the Mummy, which is a really cool table in its own right. It's super fast, that one.
I like
Like,
that
I
one.
felt like that was a fast table to play. But additional DLC, Indiana Jones, The Pinball Adventure, Adam's Family, Star Trek, World Cup Soccer, Twilight Zone, And then there's the Universal Pinball TV Classics, which is includes Battlestar Galactica, Xeno Warrior Princess, and Knight Rider Pinball. So altogether, that is 11 tables. But you get the first three with the game, with the arcade and everything, mixed reality mode, $10. So it's an easy buy-in. And what I mean when I say they should copy the Walkabout model, because it works. It works from Walkabout. They've proven it. What the way their model is they've created this multiplayer social space. You can bring all of your friends in, and as long as the host owns the DLC, everyone can play. And that's so effective, because what that allows you to do is it allows you to kind of create this culture of where people are meeting up every month when the new DLC comes out. Everyone's getting together to play and check it out. And two things happen from that. People try it out, they love it, and they'll go buy their own copy of it. Or if it's a situation where people don't have enough money to buy every DLC that comes out, people will take turns. So like this month Eric will buy the DLC, and then maybe next month I'll pick it up. The next one Ruuts will pick it up. But you keep this steady flow of content coming out. $3, $4, $5 at a pop, and then everyone is buying it. At least one person from the friend group is making sure to get everyone that comes out. And again, I think it's an interesting model. No one else really does anything like that, and Walkabout is just killing it with that model. And I absolutely think that having a fully featured like pinball arcade coming out with licensed content, real life tables, and literally hundreds to choose from, because they're basically using these pinball ROMs that have been used and developed out for emulators over the years. There's literally endless possibilities here, as long as you can get the licensing rights, which they have for their other pinball titles. That's kind of what I think of when I get in here. It's cool as it is. It's great that you have this cool pinball arcade where you can like literally go in and treat it like a sim, or there are different modes all the way up to like this crazy arcade mode with special abilities and powers. But I think if they get other people in here, the sky's really the limit for this one.
Yeah, they've already shown they've had a path for getting these licenses for IPs. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't. It sounds like they have it in with Universal, because they did Universal and Pinball FX2 movies, and then they got some Universal pack here. So it sounds like they have it in there already, and there's tons of Universal licenses that would be amazing for this. So it sounds like they already have the path. I mean, it's just going to be basically whether they decide they want to keep it going, because I think they could.
Well, couldn't they bring any of those, all the tables they have that are flat? They have so many rights for so many games, and I agree. I think it'd be cool. It would do really well.
Did either of you guys get a chance to check out the mixed reality mode?
No,
I did not.
heard about it though.
Yeah, I saw it. They show it to you in there, and they're like, "Oh, you can place it and do this and do that," but I just didn't do it. But it looked cool.
Yeah, it works well. It works well. I think that this mixed reality stuff, it's a bit ahead of its time. Not just because of the quality of today's equipment in terms of like pass-through cameras. I think pass-through cameras are pretty good right now. They've upgraded and tweaked the software to get it in a pretty good place. I think though, for stuff like this, where you're putting a pinball table or something like that in your home, I think that's a technology whose time will come when the equipment kind of shrinks down and becomes something more like glasses or something to that effect, something that people are going to be wearing a good portion of the day. I think when the time comes where people are spending a majority of the day in some kind of device that's wearable that they're not taking off, when they're done playing, I think that this kind of mixed reality modes that we're seeing in stuff like this right now, in 5 years from now, is going to be phenomenal. But for what it is right now, like, it's cool, it works. And if you're into like the mixed reality stuff, obviously it's cool. You can place a pinball any one of these tables in the corner of your room. You can. It does have the effects come with it too. It isn't just the table. So like the Indiana Jones, for example, that has the Indiana Jones on the right side and the Ark of the Covenant on the left side. That does translate over into the mixed reality, so that stuff's in there in your room with you as well. And I think, gentlemen, that we may have just stumbled upon the reason why these tables aren't as immersive in this version of the game as they were in the FX2. I bet they dialed that stuff back intentionally so that they could bring it over in mixed reality mode. Makes sense?
I think that's probably a good point, because otherwise, why would you do it? Like, I've already kind of said, like, it was really cool. Like, I mean, think about freaking Jaws coming up through the floor and like the whole entire room, going away and water being in there. That's pretty damn cool. So like, why wouldn't you do that? And that Pinball FX2 is what, 6 years old. So I mean, like, I can't see that they couldn't get this on the Quest 3 or Quest 3S. So why not do it? I think you're right. The only reason to do it is if you're going to try and make sure that everything is available in mixed reality, which is kind of a shame. Like, I don't want to have, I love mixed reality, but don't water down my VR because you need to get mixed reality in it. That's not what I want to see. And as a game developer, that's not what I want to make either. I'm telling you right now. So.
Inferno 9 says not only can you place tables, but you can also place some of the items and statues in mixed reality mode. That is true. And he said that I had 3 tables placed in MR. Now that's something I did not know. I didn't know that you could do multiple tables. I thought it was just one, but I didn't mess around with it a whole lot. You know me. I'm a VR guy. I'm not really much of an MR guy yet.
Right. I do agree and disagree with you, though, Wes. I think that even though the pass-through is better, it for mixed reality, it's one thing if you're running around and you just don't want to be jumping into something. But if you're looking at something that you want to be crisp, the contrast of, even though your hand isn't warped, it still doesn't, it's blur. I mean, it doesn't look as good. It looks good. It looks so much better than it used to. But it's just not even close to being there. And I think it'll be that being indistinguishable, really, the cameras, and then also what you were saying as well. So
Marcus Orr says, I need to find a way to make more money. I want all the VR stuff. I feel you, brother. I feel you. But no, it's super cool. I would... now that I'm kind of thinking about this juxtaposition between the VR version and the MR version, I would like to see them maybe kind of bring in some of the more immersive stuff in the future tables that come in. And I mean, if they want to have a more dialed back version for MR, then that should be the MR version. You know what I mean? Like, they should have the fully immersive VR version be the fully immersive VR version. And then when you place it in your home, then you get the dialed back experience like this title shows.
Yeah.
I agree.
Why can't they give you both?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So before we move on, I don't have a whole lot of negatives here. Everything runs well. Again, the tables are pretty much perfect. In terms of like the interface, there was a couple of things that were left to be desired for me. I felt like the tables were too tall. like I don't know if you guys experienced this, but it felt like they were taller than real life tables that would typically come up to about your waist. And maybe this was something in the settings. Maybe it was like set to seated mode or something like that, and I didn't go switch it off. But you'll notice as I play through these tables, to start each one, I kind of squat down and recenter, and then when the table comes in, then I stand up and play. So that was a little bit of friction that I didn't particularly. Oh, look at the score, Roots.
It's demonic. Get it out of here. Well, it's fitting that it's with the mummy.
The
one,
mummy.
Right?
This is a cool table.
Yeah.
You were right, Wes. I think I played this table more than I played anything else, just because I thought it was fast and cool.
Yeah, I was going to walk away from it on that playthrough, but after I saw that 666, I just couldn't leave it on there. I had to do it one more
Not
time.
doing it.
Yeah.
Gabriel 004 has a good point. Says aliasing needs to be turned off. That's one thing that I can say. Not when you're playing the table, but when you're like walking around, it just you can see the anti-aliasing in the distance pretty good as far as the tables go and that type of stuff.
I did not even notice it, not that I was kind of looking at anything far away either. Like I was always kind of focused on what was right in front of me. So no, I didn't notice that, but thanks for pointing it out. Another thing that bothered me a little bit was your in-game hands, the blue hands that they give you. They always kind of snap to the sides of the table instead of following where your hands are at in real life. And I found that immersion breaking. The fact that like my hands weren't where my hands always were. You know, did you guys notice that at all?
I did notice it, but I didn't bother me because I wasn't like trying to put my hands up there. I was just clicking the triggers, and not really worrying about it. But I did notice it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer. Like even just trying to grab the plunger or the pullback plunger to shoot the ball was a little bit of janky, a little
Yeah,
off.
a little weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes if you pulled it back too far, then it wouldn't register. It would like reset.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, I started out like in the beginning, like, just kind of comparing this to the first game and kind of like, saying this one's not as good. This is a great pinball game. Like I guess in the end, I mean, for me, I think everybody should buy this game. It's that good. Like I would buy this game. I just wish it was a little bit more like the original. But in the end, I mean, the stuff that we're finding now is like very small. Like the pinball is great. The machines are cool. The environment's cool. I really, really like this game.
Yeah, the pinball works phenomenal, and that the physics on
Does.
it is great, and so that's the main thing. It's kind of like Walkabout. And it's like, okay, are you actually playing pinball? And I feel it's better than pinball because you're not using somebody else's used up pinball machine that people have jammed around trying to, like watch people slam those things around, man.
Yeah. So I'm okay. I'm going to kind of stall here just a little bit, just so people can see the Battlestar Galactica table before we sign off. So I'll just kind of throw it to you, Roots. $9.99. Yay or nay?
That's a no-brainer price point. You get 3 good tables, some of the best ones. I bitch slap Radio Runt's score on the Sky Pirates, man. I love how it just tells you, it pulls it up, and it says you beat such and such. Just feels good. It's like, yeah.
Eric, no brainer, right? $10.
I'm going to 100% say no brainer. I'm going to tell Zen Studios if they're watching us afterwards. Here's what I would recommend. I would recommend go multiplayer, make it a lobby of a room that you can go into, and make it free download. You get one table. One table, free download, multiplayer. You can go in and do it one table, and then you can premium go up to the next. You'll have hundreds of downloads, you'll have thousands of downloads, like a lot of downloads with a free, hundreds of thousands of downloads with a free. Get them in, get them to get a taste of how good your pinball is, and then you make cool tables, and then you sell your tables in packs like that. That's exactly what I would do, especially if you give them the multiplayer and you can get into a 4 or 5 or 6 person experience, instance. or go to somebody's room that's a friend of yours. I think that's the way you do it. That's that. But this model itself at $10.99, I would do it all day long too.
Yeah, and there's other ways to monetize free to play too, other than just selling DLC packs, and that's very much where the market climate is right now. Right, free to play is what's dominating on Quest. So I agree wholeheartedly. Making this a free to play social space where there's one playable table, and then maybe you have visual representations of the other tables in the arcade, but you can't play them until you buy them. I think that is some free, high quality consulting that you just laid on Zen Studios there.
Okay, come see us then. We'll get you set up.
There you go. Shades of Gray Matter says, I agree with Eric about the business model. Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. And again, I kind of went on a rant a moment ago about the potential for a game like this, and I absolutely believe in it. I think the whole trick is just getting people in this with their friends, and then after that, it's just going to sell itself. What's up, strangers? I'm not much of a pinball guy, but I'd like to see this come to PSVR too. That's another thing too, is when I look through the comments throughout this whole segment, the one thing I'm seeing most consistently, even more consistently than multiplayer, is PSVR 2. People want to see this come to PSVR 2, and I mean that they brought the original one to the original PSVR 1, so I don't see any reason why this can't make it over to the Sony platform as well.
It could.
Definitely.
But did it make money the first time is the question. That's what they'll be looking at. And if it did, then why not?
The Funk Hunter says what's odd is that Pinball FX is free to play, one different table a week. So they're shooting themselves in the foot with the $10 buy-in. Maybe, yeah, I mean, in a sense they are, but on the other hand, man, what's fucking $10? Or what games can you buy for $10 these days that are new? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not,
Well, and two, I mean, I get where they're coming from too, because he's talking about the flat one, right? The flat
Right.
gaming.
Yes.
Yeah. How many more millions of people that are there besides in VR? I mean, you
Right.
got to make some money somewhere, and the amount of people is not here yet to do a model. I think exactly what you're talking about. I think it could be there for the other model that we're talking about, but I think that model works really well because how many people are there? There's just so many.
Plus $10 for 3 tables is a really good deal anyway, in and of itself. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got a message
Multiplayer.
I've got to answer right now.
Multiplayer.
for
That's
sure.
what you got to do. Do multiplayer. I think that would be cool. I want to show my room off. Let me decorate the room the way I want. Let me get I think the Star Wars one had full life size characters from Star Wars. You get a Darth full life size Darth Vader statue that you could place in your room. Give me stuff like that. I want a full size life size Indiana Jones that I can put somewhere in that room and kind of make it my own.
well, that alone is something in VR that you can't do flat, right? You're wanting to make the game more VR. That alone
Right.
would do just what you're wanting, right? So.
Definitely. Yeah. I did like the little wheel though, where you could spin the wheel. You must play and you get certain achievements in the games, and it gives you certain spins on the wheel to unlock, trophies or whatever.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, you earn tickets, I guess, through unlocking achievements, and then you can use those tickets to spin the wheel and win a random collectible to decorate your arcade with.
You know what I liked about this game too, and I know we want to try and get moving on here, but it's easy to get into.
Right.
I love Hitman, and we're gonna talk about Hitman, and we're all gonna rave over it. But Hitman's it's a commitment. This game, I got into it and I played it and I had fun, and I stayed longer than I wanted to, or originally intended to, because I was having fun. But I could jump back in here after the show and play for half an hour or 30 minutes.
play-
So for
10 minutes, dude.
yeah.
You can play for 10 minutes.
in a world now where it's like we just have so much going on, it's so hard to like put aside 3 or 4 hours of playing VR. If I just want to get in and have fun and play VR and for 15, 20 minutes, one table, two tables, it's like I don't. There's no guilt. You know what I mean? There's certain times where I do shit and I'm like, wow, man, I feel guilty because I should be doing something else. This is like no guilt. You just get in, you jump in. Like I get where like I don't want all casual gaming. Like and this we could probably get into a whole thing. I'm like casual gaming or full-fledged full deep games, but I think there's a place for casual games when you just feel like you can just go in and have fun, and it doesn't have to be a full-time commitment to go play a game. I don't need to have Asgard's Wrath 2 every time I go in and play.
Yeah, agreed. And again, when we get to that future where people have comfortable, high quality wearables, stuff like this casual stuff that you can play 10 minutes at a time, that's going to be what dominates. Kind of the way that mobile games kind of dominate the industry right now. I think stuff like this is going to just.
Are you saying this is what people will be playing on their shitter, Wes? If they're not already, because that's where mobile gaming went.
Wait a minute,
right?
you don't play VR in your shitter Roots now?
No, dude, this is what I do, man. I'm old fashioned. I'm all shampoo bottles and what else?
And Sears Robux catalog.
What else would you scramble for? You're like, fuck, man. Oh wait, here's the wrapper to the bar of soap, and let's start reading the ingredients. Good times.
Love it.
Memories,
That's
right?
funny.
JC Penney catalog.
Yeah. Well, that's different. That's a different memory. Different memory.
What were you doing? You were doing the lingerie section?
I was buying stuff, Matt. Come on.
Oh, you were in the underwear
man.
Come on, man.
One more thing though, Eric, you should never feel guilty for taking a couple hours to yourself, man. You're gonna fall over dead if you don't take a break every now and then. We're not doctors. We don't have to be on call 24/7.
True.
You got to unplug at some point, man.
You are saving the world.
I agree.
I think
One conversion at a time.
Yeah.
I regret nothing. I regret nothing.
Anyways, Pinball FX VR available now on MetaQuest platform, $9.99. Go pick it up. It's awesome.
it's a steal. You can play darts.
Yeah, the darts were cool.
I didn't even notice that there was a dartboard.
Yeah, somebody actually even brought it up too, and I thought it was kind of a good observation. They said there's different colors for darts.
How long do you think?
Multiplayer. What do you need two different colored darts?
That's
right?
true.
How long do you think it is going to be before we get the forever pinball?
Oh man, please don't.
Oh man.
Well, so here's the thing about this: that the game is like, when I'm playing pinball, I want to play pinball, like VR, flat, real life. It needs to operate like pinball, and this one does it very well. And I love Forever Bowl, Forever everything. I can't say the same thing as far as physics, honestly. You know, like the bowling.
Well, another thing too,
like real bowling.
Those arcade 1-up or whatever those controllers are that they've been trying to send us for 3 months.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That VR arcade controller is compatible with this.
Really?
Which on the one hand I thought, well, that's cool. Like that's something I might actually use that thing for. On the other hand, does it have side buttons on it? I know it doesn't have a plunger on the front of it.
I think it does have the side. You're talking about the X Arcade thing, the X Arcade, low console thing. I think it does have the side buttons. Yeah, it definitely doesn't have the plunger, but I think it does have the side flipper.
Well, that's enough. Just having something to put your real life hands on and press a real life button would really ramp up the immersion for these pinball tables. Maybe it'd be worth having them send us one of those things.
Test it out.
My new arcade cabinet does have side buttons on it.
Does it? Oh, so there you go, Mash. Have you tried it? Oh, no, I guess you didn't say.
It's got 35 pinball tables on it, but I have not tried it.
But try it with this.
I've been in love with the light gun stuff, man. I'm a light gun fan. I love the light gun stuff, so I've been stuck in there, and it does have Guitar Hero on it, and I've been stuck in there too.
Anyways, again, Pinball FX VR, MetaQuest, $10, awesome.
Two
Pick it
thumbs up.
But with that said, let's move along to the main event, the headliner, the game of the hour, and let's talk about the latest chapter in the ongoing saga, which is Hitman VR. I think it was 2 weeks ago today that Hitman World of Assassination VR finally made its way to PlayStation VR 2. But this is not a port. This is not the original Hitman VR, which debuted, I want to say, like 4 or 5 years ago at this point on PlayStation VR 1. That was a game that had, it didn't have full motion controller support, but rather had tracked gamepad support. So they gave you one hand in the game that was tracked by the position of your DualShock 4 controller. But as PSVR gamers, resilient as they are, we all kind of got used to that and really kind of had a blast with the original Hitman VR to the point where we named it our game of the year that year. I mean, it was this franchise and this game is such a step up for VR in terms of scope and quality, even with the limitations of the time. It was a blast to play. Fast forward a year, the game gets ported to PC VR. It gets announced. People say, finally, we get a full-on version of this game with full motion controller support. And it drops. It does have motion controller support, but I wouldn't call it full motion controller support. You have control of your hands in terms of where they are in space. But other than that, like you couldn't grip, like the grip button didn't work. You could use two-handed weapons, but you just had to kind of hover your left hand close to the gun and it would automatically grab it. And they're basically all of the same push button mechanics from the original game were available, were carried over 1-to-1 pretty much. But it's still a notable step up from the PlayStation version. Better looking graphically for the most part, although some people did have some issues on certain systems and configurations. But I think the big kind of major upgrade was choking people with your bare hands, being able to just go up to someone behind them and converge on their neck with both hands really made that aspect of the game a lot more immersive. Besides all of that, a complete flop on PC VR. People expected a lot more, and when the game didn't meet their expectations, as is usually the case on Steam, review bombs. Like people just drugged that version of the game through the mud and acted like it was garbage, even to the point where VR reviewers were saying that people shouldn't play it in VR, that they should just go play it flat with the gamepad.
Play it flat.
That was bullshit.
Yeah. It really didn't get a fair shake. I didn't feel like on PC.
It was one of the biggest
digress.
knee-jerk reactions I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
from the
it was
community.
It was pretty crazy. Anyway, fast forward to last year, fairly recently, I want to say within the last 6 months, Hitman 3, just 3, not the full trilogy, but Hitman 3 came to standalone Quest. Everyone knows by now that was a port handled by XR Games, and that truly was the shits. It was
Best version
janky. It looked bad. Now, honestly, it was crazy that it even worked at all. And the fact that it was playable, I mean, that was something. You know, it was a bit of a technical achievement in that aspect. But it wasn't a game that I would recommend to anyone. So really, I felt like for Hitman VR, that was a real low point. It had all of the pushback that the PC version had, but this time it was justified, right? Like it was a truly shitty version of the game. And when it seemed like, all right, that was the end of the Hitman VR experience or experiment, that we would, the last chapter was going to be a bad one. Then IO Interactive proper announced that this game was coming to PSVR 2, and that this time they would get it right, that it was going to be a full-on VR version of the game. And again, shout out, big thank you to IO Interactive, who did provide the review copy that we played for this segment. But Ruuts, while I would say that it isn't 100% as if it were built from the ground up for VR, it's pretty damn close. And I got to say that I feel like personally that they really have knocked it out of the park with this version of the game. This is an incredible game to be able to experience in VR. And I did, aside from a little jank here and there with some of the interactions, I had fun the entire time when I was playing this.
Yeah, no, this is, I guarantee, I wasn't one of them, but I guarantee there's some, because there's, I guess the biggest thing, the glaring thing that I would say that wasn't VR or was kind of a little weird was the ladder climbing, but I don't want to climb ladders anyway. And we all know how I feel about ladders, so I found it refreshing. So I think it was a big W. I guarantee there's some people that wanted to manually climb that fucking ladder. And I think maybe the choice of the camera angle, when they do that, is a little bizarre, but I don't know. I thought everything was good about this game. Although I did notice every once in a while, and I don't know if maybe it was just something going on at that time, but like a weird flat flickering around my hands when I was running or something. And it wasn't always. It was just every once in a while. And I was curious if anybody else saw it, but yeah, no, I thought I had a lot of fun. Good.
Yeah. No, I didn't notice any weirdness like that with the hands. Eric, not a straight port. I was interested to find here. It's not that they didn't just port the PC version over and then give it, full motion controls. They've really, I would say, refined a lot of the gameplay systems out here, and a lot of like the UI and not major overt changes, but small refinements here and there that I feel like really makes this feel more like a VR game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts here. They did a really good job with this game. Like, I really wish. And here's the deal: if this wasn't IO Interactive, this would never have happened. If it wasn't Hitman, this never would have happened. There's no way you get 4 tries at a game to get it right, and then you keep going. The only reason that they kept going is they didn't want to tarnish the Hitman property, right? Like, the IP is more valuable than the shitty VR game at that point. So they had to like go make this right, which is, it just would never happen. So thankfully that they took back over and they actually did it right. And then the other thing I want to mention too is doing it wrong. The other VR company that did it wrong, who was it? Was it XR or XR Game Labs? Who did the other?
XR Games.
Yeah, XR Games. They have done some really poor work, and they've really kind of like hurt a lot of what we're all trying to do, which is we're trying to get flat games to come to VR. And when you do terrible ports like the Quest port, I mean, it really hurts us, but then when you see it done right like this, then it's like this is the shining example that everybody wants to point to, that everybody is messaging anybody else, and a flat game studio and when their amazing game comes out and says, well, bring it to VR, look at Hitman. That's when you can point to this. But the other side can be so bad for VR that like literally, thank God again for IO Interactive that they did this, because they didn't have to. They could have just been like, you know what, 3 tries, we're out. We can't keep going through this. We're not putting good money after bad. We're not doing this again. And finally, they said, we're not going to pay a porting company to go do this. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it with, and we're going to make it a VR game and not a port of a VR game. And you can tell the difference. Like, this is by far, and I like the Steam version, by the way, but
Yeah, I
this
do
is
too.
by far the best version. It looks so freaking good. Like, again, and look, the Quest version is it's a mobile chip headset, and you're right. It's a magic that they got it on there at all. But that was the last version I played, right? So that's what I have in my head. And then I go play this thing and I'm like, holy shit, man, this is what VR really should be. But it's just amazing the way they did this game. Everything is done right in this game. I mean, and there are some little issues here and there that, okay, and they'll probably patch it out and it'll be fine, but there are some issues. But this is one of the best looking games I've seen in VR. I don't know what levels you guys played, but I played that sky level with the where you're kind of like up in the big huge skyscraper kind of thing, and you're up tall. Like, that is a gorgeous level that looked really good on Steam. It looks even better here. Way better for me. So
Yeah, so beautiful in the PSVR 2 headset with the HDR OLED, and while I do believe that they are reprojecting here to hit the frame rate, it's not super noticeable, right? Like, you don't notice it when you're turning. You don't notice it on your hands or anything. Only when strafing and looking for it do you really notice it. The ghosting is very minute here, and really fully rendered out, man. I mean, Ruuts, just standing still and looking around, like, I would say in terms of fidelity, it looks like the flat version to me. Like, it literally looks just like the flat version.
Yeah, it's everything we want. Like Eric was saying, we want to bring these flat gamers over to have something this good to be able to point to and say, look, this is what VR could be, instead of pointing to like Onslaught or something. They're like, what is this?
Oh my God.
It's just really good. Although I would submit, I thought the Steam version was really good too. Actually, I thought the other PlayStation version was really good. But I think I agree, this is probably the best version. If not only for what you guys said, but the adaptive triggers felt amazing as well. So there's that.
Yeah. So I guess we should talk about some of these small things that all kind of add up to make a big difference, right? Like, in terms of immersion. You do have full motion controller support now, meaning not only does it follow your hands, but you are grabbing things with your hands, with both hands, left or right, it doesn't matter. And things that used to be automated, like throwing, they still use I believe an aim assist, but it isn't a visible aim assist like you Eric. It's so cool how they do the throwing now, because it uses the eye tracking, right? Like, it can tell by where you're looking what you're throwing at, and then you have to go through the motion, right? Literally throw it with the throwing motion, and it hits the target every time, which a lot of the times I would frown upon that, like in an action game. But in a game like this, where you're literally playing the role of a like almost superhuman hitman, like a killing machine, you would expect this guy to hit the target every time, right? So I kind of forgive it in the context of the game.
Yeah, I mean, again, I love the way they do it here, actually. And you're right. Like, when there's too much aim assist with certain things, it bothers me. Like, if like the aim assist that we had in Switchback bothered me in the beginning. Like, it was too much, and I didn't like it. But here, like, I'm okay with it because it's not the main part of the game. Like, it's a part of a bigger game, and you don't do it so often that you're like, oh, just cheapens the whole experience for you. And again, you do want to feel like a badass, and I don't want to miss 5 shots trying to get it so perfectly right, or throw things 5 different times, and I keep blowing my cover because I can't hit the target. So I'm 100% fine with it. I love the way they did the eye tracking here. I think it was smart. It was well done. Yeah, I liked it.
One of the other things that they've done here with it is when you're blending in, before it would just have you stand there, right? And the point of blending in is kind of spying, right? You're taking in the scene and gaining information from it. One of the things they've done here is kind of counterintuitive to what you think a VR game would be. Ruuts, when you blend in here, they actually take you outside the character and put you in third person, so that you can fully take in the scene and fully appreciate the context of what's happening. What did you think about the changes to blending?
I think it's amazing. I think it gives you a different perspective, and it also gives you one of the things that's cool about this Hitman, at least for me, that was always cool about Hitman, is you're always you're constantly changing outfits, and you're a different person, right? This gives you one more opportunity to be able to really see your character in the environments and that you're trying to blend into. So I think it's pretty cool.
How long did it take you guys to figure out how to bring up the inventory? Because I went into this thing and I didn't start. Well, first of all, let me say that it carried over my progress from PS4, kind of. So it didn't bring my saves over. Like my game saves were clean, but the levels were still unlocked at the same point in the story campaign that I was at. So I didn't start completely over, but what I did is I did do the tutorial levels again so that I could learn what the new controls were. But at no point in that did they tell you how to access your inventory. Used to, your inventory would just float right in front of you, like at waist level, and you would just drop things in there and grab things out of it, and it was like on a carousel. You could use your thumbstick to scroll it. That's gone. Now you have like traditional VR style holsters. So you can put an item on your right hip. You can put an item on your left hip. And for the longest time, I thought that that's all there was. And it was really upsetting me because Hitman lets you pick up a lot of stuff and you need all of it. Like you need everything that you can find. But I couldn't figure out how to store it. And I went through the menu screens. I went through the settings, no mention anywhere of how to get the damn the damn inventory up in front of you. And it was only like by chance that I ended up figuring it out. You have to take your left hand, bring it to your chest, palm up, and pull the grip button. And then that carousel that used to go around your whole body just hovers above your hand. Which I think is a better solution for VR. But it was annoying as fuck that they don't tell you that. Did I miss it?
You must have. Because Flippy Nugget says, well, I did the tutorial, so. And this is my sense of humor. I'm like, I like that. To me, that's not a flex. Like I'm looking for a way to I'm surprised Wes did the tutorial again on a game that we've played so many times. I'm looking for ways to skip tutorials. I guess is the way I look at it.
Bruce wants to skip a tutorial of a game he's never played before, let alone a game he's played 4 different times.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, I think it's I definitely didn't. What was funny for me, Wes, is I noticed it right away for whatever reason. Like I'm like it's telling me to do the camera, and I just instinctively reached in and it's like, oh, the inventory's there. I found it really easy, or easily, like it was intuitive, but apparently it wasn't, because I literally just grabbed down there like I'd done it a million times and found it, but it was
I
a
must have
chance.
missed it. Well, I mean, I looked for it and did the tutorial, but never saw it.
I don't think it was. I don't know where. I didn't remember it in the tutorial because I did the tutorial level too, the ship level. I did. I
Yeah.
don't remember it in there. Was it in maybe in the opening scene when you're, because I didn't do that. You know the opening scene where you come in and you're like in the other base
Mm-hmm.
before the tutorial.
Yeah, I
Was
did
it in
that.
there? I don't know. Like I didn't do that. But I did the ship. But it took me a while to figure it out too, Wes. I was the same way. But once I figured it out, it's actually pretty good. Like I liked it a
Yeah.
lot. I thought it was a cool inventory system. But yeah, I didn't see it either. I don't know where it was.
Now, one thing I would have done to make it better, they do still make you scroll to highlight the item before you can grab it. I think it would be cool if you could just reach in there and grab the one you wanted. Like you see visual representations of the different items in your inventory. I feel like you should just be able to grab the one that you're looking at and that you want instead of having to use your thumbstick to scroll all the way around to it. But again, that's a pretty minor nitpick. I think again that overall it's a pretty big improvement over the previous iteration.
Chrome Colossus says you missed it. It's hard to know, but it is hard to notice. It's not the levels; it's an actual tutorial. It's its own thing. I think I saw
That's
something.
why I didn't do that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, you wouldn't normally. It's odd that, with all due respect, it's odd that you guys went into the tutorial. It's not as odd because it's an actual level, So you were like going to the level, but we've just played so much of this game. It never would have dawned on me to go to a tutorial for this because I'm like, fuck, man, it's Hitman. I've played the hell out of it.
Well, I knew that the really the biggest difference between this and the other versions of the game was going to be controls, right?
Yeah.
There's new controllers. The game was, I mean, we already had Hitman in VR. The differences would be the controls, and that's why I did the tutorial, so I could learn what those controls were. All right. So those are the main differences. Let's talk a little bit about the game in general, and assume that some of the people in the audience didn't catch any of our previous coverage of this game. So this is a kind of a unicorn in the VR library, as this is a full-on trilogy of AAA flat games that have now been fully adapted into VR. And we've already kind of talked a little bit about the quality level, right? Like it's AAA flat game level of production, which is just beautiful inside the PSVR 2 headset. But what really makes this a special title, especially for VR, is the scope of it. And I don't just mean the scope of the levels, which is impressive in its own right. These are big, open levels that are full of interactable characters, and that in and of itself is crazy compared to other VR games. It's something you just don't see in VR games. But the scope of the game itself, the fact that, all right, they set you in a level, they give you a detailed story scenario that you're playing through, and targets that you have to kill. But they never tell you how to do that. And they provide you like fucking infinity ways to go about it. Like you can brute force your way through if you want and fight your way through and kill them. But that's not the fun of the game. The fun of the game is being a master of disguise and sneaking in and befriending people. There are always, in every level, there's multiple like sub stories that are available. Now, they all kind of run on a timer. Like there's a window for each little sub story, and you have to be in the right place at the right time and eavesdrop on the right person to kind of trigger these side stories, but they all kind of end up giving you a path to your ultimate goal, which is to kill the target. Multiple ways you can do that. You can drown people, you can poison them, you can throw them off a cliff. Like I would say, Eric, that in terms of the possibilities, in terms of the production value, all things included, I think this is the most realistic VR game that I've ever played. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably. I'm trying to think of another one that would match. What you could do here.
You can do like anything almost.
Pretty much. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
you can. And I think you're right. Like what we were talking about earlier, like with the inventory and having to have different. You have to have so many things to get through, and there's so many ways that you can get through it. That's why you want to carry so much in your inventory, because there's different things that you're going to be able to do. And I mean, literally, I'm pretty sure you can go through most of this game without even killing anybody, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the goal, right? They don't want you to kill innocents. They don't want you to just kill the targets.
Right.
Now, that's hard to do sometimes. And if we make it to the end of this video that you're watching here, you're going to see things really go to shit for me at the end. And I just have to fucking kill everyone that comes close to me to escape. But that's kind of the beauty of it, man. Like, for example, there are heat lamps in certain levels that people stand around outside and smoke. You can rig those. So, I mean, they're gas powered. You can rig them so that they blow up, but you can't do that unless you picked up a wrench when you were making your way through the game and you happen to find a wrench. There are other things like chandeliers that you can rig to drop on people's head, but only if you have the screwdriver to loosen up the thing. Just endless scenarios. You're trying to isolate your targets, get them in private so that you can kill them quietly. There are endless ways to kind of sabotage their day, to make them veer off their normal path and go into a place where they're going to have to go to fix the problem, and you're lying in the shadows waiting there for them to kill them quietly. Ruuts, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about scope. There's no other VR game that comes close to this one in terms of the scope of the levels and the scope of the different things that you can do in the levels. Whether that's, rigging up things to accidentally kill people, or, happening upon characters so that you can kill them and steal their identity, so to speak, and play that role to get closer to your targets. It's really incredible. It's impressive for a flat game, not to mention the fact that it's been so beautifully brought into VR now that it's come to PSVR too.
Yeah, the scope of a game like this is just crazy, right? Like a sandbox game where you can pretty much do anything. Like that's what makes a good developer, or one of the good things of a good game maker in general, is thinking outside the box and going and saying, well, what are people gonna do? There's nothing more frustrating than going to grab and do something, trying something, and you can't. But there's nothing more impressive than not being able to find anything that you can't do. It's just everything you find, you can do it, and you're like, oh my god. That's why Baldur's Gate 3 is so amazing. There's just so many possibilities of things you can do, and this game is amazing.
The crazy thing is, the crazy thing is that they've already thought about all of it, because not only is this like a story-based game that you can play through, but there is a scoring component to it. There are leaderboards in this game for every level, and like there are you earn points for all of these different avenues and things that you can do to further yourself and get closer to your goal. And when I say that they've thought of all of it, they've thought of all of it. I mean, there's like 50, 60, 70 different things that they're scoring you on if you happen to do this one thing. Did you talk to this one person? Did you kill this person in this specific way in this specific room? And as random, Eric, as this scenario seems to be when you're playing through it, they've actually put the time in to mapping it all out and scoring it, assigning point totals to all of it. So every level has multiple story paths you can play down, or if you decide to just wing it, there's still just things that seem random when you decide to do them, but after you do them and you get the points for it, you realize it's not random at all. That it's just that well thought out. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Hitman universe and the way they do this, and there's just so much here. It's almost daunting, like the way you can do. Like, I don't know, like I've already talked to several creators that are like, I can't wait to do all these missions over again and stream them, and like I'm gonna do multiple sessions, and like it's just people want to do, like there's so many different things you can do, and they're talking about like, yeah, I'm just gonna go stream this one mission, and like I can do it 10 different ways if I want to do it that way, and there's so many things you can do, and the replayability of that and how you can do these things is pretty awesome. Just being able to figure out different ways to do things to make it interesting for yourself to get through it. It's just really great the way what they put into this series, and then to see it finally realized in VR the way it is just something special. But like the size and scope and the way that they've done this game and just the whole series in general, and I don't know, it is something special in VR.
One of the things one of the things I really liked about this level, as big and beautiful as this level is, and you guys can see it, everything you can see here you can go to, which is pretty crazy. I loved how unlockable this level is, because there's this big mansion that's kind of the centerpiece of the level. The level is a town. Like there's a whole bustling Italian town with shops that you can go into. And when you go into the shops, again, there's people talking, giving you context to the story and clues that you can that are actionable, things that help, not just stuff that's giving you lore. But one of the things I liked about this is in this level, I would just randomly go into a room, because you get points for exploration, like visiting all the map. They'll give you points for that. So I love just exploring. But in this level, I would just go into a room and happen to find a key on a desk, and now all of a sudden, like that unlocks a whole other part of the map that was locked off before that I couldn't get to. Stuff that I didn't need to go into, but by unlocking it, now all of a sudden there are all these other possibilities of how I can go about achieving my goal and killing the target. There was a part of this level where I run into this gardener, just a random fucking dude, working. And, the first time I go by him, he makes some kind of smart ass comment about my outfit. And I just let it go, and I go on playing. But later on, I've got heat on me, and I'm trying to get away from people that are looking for me. And I come back into the room with this dude. He's still there working. So, all right, it's this dude's time. I'm going to take him out and take his clothes. I do that, and the guy drops 2 keys. And one of them unlocks the sewer system, which is pretty central to the story. It gives you kind of a back door into the place where you ultimately need to get to. But the other key he dropped was the key to his fucking shop downtown. So now I'm dressed as this guy, and I can just like literally go back to his fucking store and unlock it and go in it now, when it just originally had just seemed like, a closed off building that's not part of the map. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about scope. Just absolutely incredible. And before it gets away from me too far here, I want to point out our good friend Guido with the $10 US donation in the chat says, surprise from Guido. Thank you, Guido. Thanks for being here.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Haven't seen Guido in a while.
We haven't been here in a while, man. It's
true.
been a while.
It's been a while.
Someone in the chat a moment ago, let me see if I can find the comment again.
7. I was just answering a question in my own head while you were looking for the chat.
So I can't find the comment. Someone said that this is this kind of like it's kind of like No Man's Sky, to the point where it's like intimidating, like it's almost too much. And while it's almost like that in terms of scope, it's not the same. And I'll tell you why. Like with No Man's Sky, there's all this grinding and stuff that you're doing, and repetitive actions that you're going through. And other than going into the settings and turning it off and nerfing it, that's all required. Like it's required that you go in there and grind and do the same stuff over and over and over and over again. With Hitman, it's not the same, because while yes, it's on that same level in terms of scope, you don't have to do any of it. Like if you want to blow through these levels, and not like pursue any of the side goals, if you don't care about scoring points and leveling up and chasing leaderboards, you can speedrun these things and skip all of this content that we're raving about. But it's so rewarding to let the game take you down these paths. It never feels like work. So while I get it on the one hand, you're right, Eric, like this isn't something that you're going to come to when you want to play for a half an hour. While you can technically play through one of these levels in 30 minutes or less, that's not the way to play it. So when you're looking for that kind of experience, you're probably going to avoid this game. But you could play it that way if you wanted to. It's just, for someone like me, it's impossible. Like there's just too much to explore here. I feel like each one of these levels almost is like on par with a typical VR game. Is that a fair statement, Roots? That like some of these levels, in terms of like scope and as much stuff as there is to do, like it's like a $20 VR game for the one level.
No, that's 100% fair, because the game wasn't developed. The actual gameplay core wasn't developed at the same time that they were trying to figure out how to do this all in VR. You know, and I say it all the time. Devs spend so much time trying to make the game just fucking work that they just don't put the content in there. And this has got more content than most flat games. You know what I mean? Like this is just a AAA game through and through. And maybe it's not some people's cup of tea, but I can't imagine a game that I was thinking about this while you were talking, Wes. Like this game is so for you in so many ways. Like this is the biggest exploration game I've ever seen, just by nature of figuring out where to go, what's happening, what you're finding. Everything changes when you find the wrench. Everything changes when you find the key card, right? Like it just is super cool.
Yeah. Eric, we'll get to we'll get to some of the downsides of the game, and there aren't many, and it is going to be a nitpick session, of course. But I got to say, if someone comes to me hypothetically and says, "All right, you have to pick one VR game, and it's the only game that you can play from here on out. You have to pick one. You don't get any others." It's probably going to be this for me. And I'm not saying that this is the best VR game ever. I'm not saying that it's my favorite. But in terms of quality, in terms of the amount of content, this very likely would be what I would pick.
Kayak VR?
Not kayak, definitely not kayak, but We recently kind of speculated that if they do this port right and they actually deliver on what they're saying that they were going to deliver, that this instantly is in the conversation for one of the best VR games ever made. And obviously, we need to let it bake a little bit. I don't like, you know, being knee jerk about it, but let's be honest, we've been playing this game for 5 years now. It's not like it's all recency bias here. Like they finally nailed what we've been waiting on them to nail for years. I think it's a fair statement to say that this is probably top 5, top 10 games that you can play in VR period right now.
Oh yeah, definitely top 10 for sure. Probably top 5. I mean, it's definitely discussion for top 5. Might be the best. I think No Man's Sky would be up there for another like huge big game that you'd want to be like, that's the last game. If like that's the only game I could ever play, I think that's got that's kind of scope of like this. But there's not many. There's not many out there that are like that have still good gameplay that you want to stay in. Like there's a lot of long games out there that are just like long fucking games. Like, and I don't want to be in there that long. Like, but you know, this is not that. This is a game that has a lot of stuff in it. I actually like the way they break up the missions, Wes, because what we were saying earlier is like you could just go in here and just play a mission. You don't have to go in and, oh my God, where did I leave off? You know, the story, I don't remember what I'm doing or what was I supposed to do here. You can get in and just play a mission and then play that whole mission for, 45 minutes and get out. So there is that kind of replayability here. But if you want the whole entire story experience, you can do that too. So yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think it's up there. And like, I was just trying to think in my head really quick, like if I had to pick another game that was like, this is the last game I could ever play. Yeah, I mean, No Man's Sky.
I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of that kind of a choice, like most of the candidates for it are going to be games that don't have a campaign. They're going to be things that are replayable, things like Gran Turismo, things that like leaderboard chasers and top scorer type games. Very few like games that have a story campaign are going to give you that kind of content and variability that it's a game that you could just come back to and come back to and come back to like this one does. So yeah. Mark Pringsleaf says Fallout 4 for me. Fallout 4 is awesome, and I think that well, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, Roots, with the possibilities of the 5090. I think that the Fallout 4 and Skyrim, still to this day, 7 years on from when they came out, so 8 years, they still hold a pretty special place in the catalog just because those are our big open world games that we're still waiting on VR to deliver. Yeah, I think it's a good call out by Pringlesleaf there. Those games are still pretty special, and I haven't spent nearly enough time in Skyrim, so I look forward to kind of doing the 45 mods that people recommend and really getting in and getting the full Skyrim and Fallout experiences now that I have the equipment to push it.
It's going to be amazing. I'm looking more forward to Red Dead and GTA 5, although Radio Runt says you do need to get back to Fallout 4 West.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. This is therein lies the dig, right? Because they're now the world is at my feet when it comes to VR gaming. Like I can play these flat games, I can play all the best VR stuff, cranked to the fucking moon. But then, people want to know about the stuff that's coming out this week. People want to know about the stuff that's coming out next week. So again, shout out to Looper and D. I have a feeling we're going to be leaning on them more and more and more, because when we're talking about games like Fallout and Skyrim and all of these flat stuff and Red Dead and all this stuff, we're talking about a game that I want to spend 3 months on. You know what I mean? Not
right.
3 hours and on to the next. I'm getting pretty tired of 3 hours and on to the next. Before I started creating content, I played 1 and 2 games at a time, and I played them until I finished them and then went on to another one. And I'd like to get back to that to some extent. Now, obviously, I know that there's all kinds of new stuff coming out all the time that I want to check out and try. But I do want to try to find time to stick with a game for a while. Even if it's just one that we have kind of on the back burner, and maybe once a month we do a little bit of content just to update where we've come since the last time we talked about it. I think that we should try to think about ways that we can kind of incorporate that into the content that we're doing here, because again, I want to stick with some of this stuff for a while now that I can really get the full experience.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Anyway, before we wrap this thing up and put a bow on it, let's talk about some of the pain points for this game. It is not all sunshine and rainbows, although it mostly is sunshine and rainbows. The interactions can be janky at times, and I think that's really my main point of contention with it. Like, they put some of the information on the back of your left hand now. Like, you can see the mini map, you can see what your objectives are, you can see what you're wearing just by turning over and looking at the back of your left hand. But I don't know about you guys. I guess I'll start with you, Eric. Most of the time that didn't work for me. Like, I just had to sit here and keep turning my hand over and over and over and over again to finally getting it to catch. And I found that to be pretty fucking annoying.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest downfalls of the game, is a lot of the hand animations or the hand mechanics weren't perfect. And these are small things I think they'll probably fix in a patch. These are fairly easy things, but they're probably some of the most maddening things, because like when you're trying to do those things and you just can't get it right, and it's like you got to be so perfect to get something, like pick something up or grab a body just right, or your hands seem to glitch out, or you can see through them at one point. It just makes it kind of crappy. It just bothers you. But I think it's an easy fix that they can probably patch out pretty quickly. If they haven't,
Yeah.
like I'm surprised they haven't already. Is what I'm thinking, because I just played it. They played it some today, and it still wasn't fixed. So a little surprised.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the case for most of the things we point out here. Is stuff that I fully expect them to patch out fairly quickly. Ruuts, unlocking doors can be a pain in the ass. It's like not only is like the sometimes getting the key in the hole kind of janky, but there were times that I would approach an unlockable door, but the UI prompt just wouldn't even like come in for me to interact with it. And it isn't like you can just go up and stick the key into the keyhole. You have to wait till it pops up and tells you to unlock the door, and that just wasn't registering with me. Oh, it's funny that I'm saying that now, because that's probably what's about to happen here on the screen. Oh, how perfect. So I want to unlock this door, right? Watch how well this works. There's a key. Is that the right key? That's the only key. So I want to try this key. It's not the right key, so I'm not going to get it open here anyway. But you see how the thing's not popping up here for me. Did you experience this at all, Ruuts? Because I experienced it a lot, and
I did.
Annoying.
It's kind of the same thing with the UI in the hand. It's like sometimes it's popping up, sometimes it's not. And it seemed like this was like happened throughout sporadically. I mean, it wasn't like consistent enough to be like, it just made me wonder if it was when it was going to happen again,
Yeah, it's just so annoying. Eric, a lot of instances where like I'm going to interact with something in the world, and maybe I grab my gun out of my holster. That happened a few times. There were also instances where like I would go to interact with a character, but he would be sitting next to something in the world that's interactable. And even though my hand's right here on the dude, for some reason, like it would cause me to try to grab the thing that's behind him, and it would like morph through his body and fly into my hand. A bunch of little shit like that. It was just, again, annoying and immersion breaking.
Yep. Same. Yeah, I mean, it's again, it's little stuff, but it's like it's just enough little stuff to just piss you off and like, oh, come on, like why is that happening again? But literally, I mean, besides those little things, and I'm with Roots. I like the camera. I like the third person camera thing where you actually climb up that way. I'm okay with it completely. Like, I mean, I would have been okay with keeping the blink too, by the way. But I'm okay with not having to physically climb everything, especially if it doesn't make sense for the game. So I actually like that. So I know some people are talking about that and like digging that there. But that's not one for me at all. Like I actually kind of liked it.
Philosic says, don't you hold a button to open doors? You can do it that way if you want. But no, you can, if the door's unlocked, you can just walk into it and it'll
Just
fly
push it.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a few instances like that where like there are still button prompts, but you don't have to use the button prompts. And with the doors, I kind of treated them all like that. I just use them physically like I would any other VR game. And again, when the unlock thing pops up, everything works pretty well. But no, you don't need a lockpick. You need keys. I mean, I guess you could use a lockpick as well, but for the most part, I would just try to find keys. I'm going back, by the way, to that door now that I have the actual key for it, and you're going to see that it's not easy to see. So I'm just trying to stick the key in the hole. Doesn't work. I'm coming at an angle now. Now we got it. There we go. We did it. We got the door
crazy.
Open.
Yeah. You got to go at a certain angle. What were you thinking?
Anyway, as far as like my negatives on the game, that's pretty much it. Or just the hand interactions for me. Like I'm like you. Like the climbing didn't bother me at all the way that they did. I thought it was fine. Going out to third person to climb. I'm like you, Roots. Like I've done enough climbing in VR. It doesn't break my immersion to remember that we're playing a video game every now and then.
Besides the fact that like if people are intellectually honest, I guarantee there's something else that's way more egregious that you overlook. That you know what I mean? It's no big deal to you. You overlook it because you just do. That's how people are. They just overlook certain things. It's not that big a deal. So,
Shades of Gray Matter says, yeah, unlocking doors, screwing things, wrenching things, all of those interactions have some jank. Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of it. Again, stuff that you overlook and you kind of get used to. But really, that's about all of the negative that I have for this one. Do you guys have anything that I'm not thinking of here?
no, like I said, I saw a little bit of flashing on my hands, but I don't know what that was. I didn't see it the whole time. I was hoping one of you, because it's not like a PC where I could say, well, maybe my PC was, like we all have the relatively the same PlayStation 5s, with the exception of the people that way, way, way overpaid for their pros.
Philosic says that don't you hold a button to open the doors with the key in hand? I think you can. I think if you hold the circle button, that it will open. But again, only when the unlock door prompt appears. Like it doesn't. You can't do that if that doesn't pop up, and it didn't pop up for me all the time. But you can do it either way. You can either hold the circle button in to unlock a door, or you can physically put the key in and turn it, and that does the same thing.
Shades of Gray Matter is saying, Wes, you haven't had any crashing issues. It's hit me 3 levels in a row.
It didn't crash one time for me. No, I haven't played it like super extensively. I think 3 hours in the game, maybe 4. Just a few levels. But what I played, it ran flawlessly. Now, I did have a visual artifact in my right eye the first time. like a line. It was almost like a foveated rendering line in the peripheral, but it wasn't foveated rendering because it was perfectly clear on both sides of it. And after I closed the game, it persisted. So it started when I was in the game, persisted after I closed the game. So I was like, well, I can't really ding Hitman for this. But I restarted my console and everything was fine after that. So
Wonder what that was.
Yeah, I don't know. Jay the Foveated rendering Gamecast says the swooshing of the gun when it's holstered. I don't know what that means. Does it make a noise or something? Like a weird noise? Did you guys notice that?
I did not
at all.
notice it, but
Also, I can't count how many times my guns popped out of my holster while I'm dragging and dropping guys. I had that happen a couple of times. It is a little annoying how slow it is to drag these guys. I mean, it's hard to ding it on that.
It's always, they're always slow dragging them. It sucks.
Yeah, and it would be, right? Like if this were a real life situation, then it would be slow. You're not going to just pick a guy up and throw him around. So again, it's hard to kind of ding it on that. So yeah, I had that happen a couple of times, but it wasn't like a big problem for me.
And Jay's saying, yeah, it's a very annoying, constant noise with the which holster. Swooshing.
Honestly, I don't go to my gun that much. Anytime I'm going to my gun, something bad is happening. Something went wrong. I typically take the stealth route, getting in disguise, getting close to someone, trying to get them alone and kill them quietly with my hands. I'm that type of psychopath. I want to feel the life leave your body with my hands.
What about the innocent lives? You need to take a couple of those.
I did. I felt bad. I felt bad about one of the people at the end of the video here. We're probably not going to make it to it, but you know, I got to the end of this level here, and I'm sabotaging the operation. All these people, all these security guys are coming in, and you know, I'm just killing them because there's nowhere to go. I have to kill them. But after they came in, like one of these innocent scientist guys came in, and I blew that fucking dude away too. And I was like, did I have to kill that guy? Probably. He has a family, you know. I shouldn't have done that.
At some point, though, you kind of have to give yourself grace because you just killed like 50 people in a row. It was just reflex. Right. You just reflex killed that fucker. Sorry, you know. Sucks.
I like this guy. I take this guy's lab coat so that I can dress up like a scientist. And this guy here, he takes issue with the way I throw him in the box here. He's like, "Hey, that's not just a sack of potatoes there, you know." Like, okay. This is where I got into trouble here. This little instance right here really made the rest of the level kind of difficult because literally I just got the key card I needed to get into the lab. I've already killed my targets at this point. Like the only thing left to do is to sabotage the work that they've been doing. I finally find the scientist. He's drunk, pissing in a corner. I take him out, get his key card, get his lab coat, and somebody sees me stashing the body. And now I've got people up my ass. And at this point, I'd only found one entrance into the place I needed to go. And these fucking guards that are highly alerted to me were just all over that door. And spoiler alert, like, I had to take my time and explore and find a fucking another door to get down into the lab.
That door was a no-go now. It's done.
It was tough, but we made it. We did it. Again, spoiler alert. I guess I can upload this video to patrons if they're interested. I haven't done anything for the patrons in a while, so yeah, we'll share this one with the Patreon. No commentary on it. It's just gameplay, but it's I captured it with my capture card. It's high quality PSVR 2 gameplay, and yeah, maybe you guys will enjoy that.
J Fovier rendered GameCat says if you played seated, he thinks that's why we didn't hear the swoosh. I'm assuming you play seated. I know I did.
I do, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I did too.
100%.
Mhm.
Yeah. Maybe that's it.
That's
it could be it, or again, it could be just the fact that every time I grabbed my gun, I was panicking, and I wouldn't have noticed it, right? Like I'm fighting for my life. I'm in fight or flight mode, so I wouldn't have noticed it anyway. So, do you actually lose points for killing innocents though? I haven't bothered checking. I think so. I don't know. I know the game flags it every time you kill one. Like it pops up on the screen that you killed an innocent, like not killed a non-target.
I can't imagine it not adversely affecting your leaderboard score. You're not supposed to kill them.
Maybe it doesn't though. Maybe I'm getting it confused with what was the kayak spy game? Phantom Covert Ops.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That game penalized you for killing. Pretty much killing anybody in that game, they would penalize you for it.
It was a great game. I haven't played that in forever.
And Aspire did the same thing. Like Aspire, if you killed people, they would penalize you for it. Anyways, I guess that's about all I have. This game is expensive. I don't even know how much it costs.
$60,
it's like,
right? Is it Nintendo expensive though? Is it $80 or $90?
I think
for the physical copy.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it's on sale right now. You can get it for $60 for the flat version, and then the VR buy up is $10. But I think originally that this is an $80 game for the flat version, $79.99, and then $10 to buy up to VR. And again, while that is expensive, it is a trilogy of games. It isn't just one game. This is 3 AAA games that came out over the course of like a decade. Now they're all bundled and all playable in VR. So, I mean, honestly, considering what we've just said about this game, like, it's hard for me. Like, if this were $100, I would recommend it. Like, it's worth that to play this trilogy in VR. It's worth the $100 to me. So the fact that you can get it right now for $60 and buy up with the $10, and that's only if you don't already have it. Like if you bought it on PS4, then all you got to do is buy the VR upgrade. Like you don't have to repurchase the game on PS5. You still own it, and again, it brings your progress over and everything. So yeah, I recommend. What do you guys think? At $80 plus 10 for VR, are you recommending it, Ruuts?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, there's so much game there. It's AAA. It's some of the best VR, if not the best VR that exists out there. And it's average standard cost of games now. I mean, get used to it, 80, 90. Like it is what it is. What do you guys feel about that? Like, I see people freaking out about it, and I'm like, motherfuckers, it's been $60 for like 30 years, at some point they kind of have to charge more. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I don't want to pay more, but I get it. Like I think it needed to happen a long time ago. This is why we have pay to play, or, like the games, the situation we're in, devs are behind the fucking 8 ball on every game they make. So
that is true. If people were buying $60 VR games on the regular instead of waiting for them to go on sale, we'd be getting a lot more $60 VR games in VR,
Yeah.
I retweeted a few days ago an ad from a circular in like the 90s, and it was like Super Nintendo games, cartridge games from Super Nintendo, and they were like $60, $70, $80 back then. And that's, $1993. Those games by today's standards, adjusted for inflation, are $120, $130, So it's kind of crazy that the price of everything has gone up except games. Games have stayed the same, which, I mean, I don't want to assign blame, but maybe that's partially part of the reason for the state of the games industry right now.
It is.
Like so many people getting laid off, and people are, things are tough all over. It seems like in gaming right now.
Well, and why games can't get finished? Like the devs run out of money, and then they're forced to put shit out in early access and cross their fingers, and it's in a bad state. So I support the move. I get people not liking to see it because we're crunched everywhere we go, but like you said, man, with the 90s, so we're talking 30 years that it hasn't changed. That's ridiculously out of control.
Oldar says it's on sale for $38 right now.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah, there you go.
US
Can't beat that.
PlayStation Store.
It's funny that you bring this up. So we are going to be doing Q2C VR Gamer on Thursday this week for the first time in a while, and this is one of the topics that we have is prices of VR games and prices of gaming in general. But like for me, like I'm 100% on board with you guys. Like it's been so long. I mean, we've been years now. Like we've been saying, it's $20 for a movie that you go and enjoy for 2 hours and you're gone and you never get it again. And then you can't pay like double or triple that for a game that's going to give you 40 hours of at least 40 hours. That's just one playthrough, of experience and enjoyment. Like, I mean, to me, it's like a no-brainer. Like you have it forever. A movie, you go to the movies, you watch it once. It's not even $20 anymore. It's like $40. Like you can't go to the movies with, for that price. So, I mean, entertainment is very subjective, and the way what people will pay for and then what people will balk at paying for is just a little bit weird. But I don't know. I think also that people and consumers see outliers and video game companies making billions of dollars, and they are so much the outlier that 90% of the games don't ever come close to that, and they assume that they're just like loaded with money, and maybe they don't deserve getting making all this money, but it's just most of them are just struggling to get through the development cycle.
If they made a good game, they deserve to have all that money. That's the way I look at it, man. Let it stack up, dude. You're putting out good games. I hope you have billions. You know what I mean? That's why Valve is so successful. Well, it's one of the reasons why Valve is so successful. But yeah, just crazy.
So the flat game on PlayStation Store US right now, $28. It's 60% off. Normally, $69.99 it says. So normally a $70 game, $28 right now, plus $10 for the VR buy up.
Get it now.
Obviously a no-brainer on sale, but even at the 70 plus 10, $80 for this trilogy in VR. Eric, recommend or no?
Oh my God, 100% at either price. Definitely go get it. Like there's so much game here, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. I don't think we can make it any more clear than we have. This is one of the best VR games of all time, and I normally wouldn't say that during the release week of a game, but again, we've been playing this game in VR for years, right? And at this point, we know what we've got here, and it is a unicorn in the VR catalog. So
100%. Inferno 9 says I'd pay $80 to $90 if the game is complete and no DLC and it's not crap. And that's kind of the condition, the problem we're in, because they're not charging enough. We're running into more games that aren't finished, that don't have DLC and are crap. It's feeding itself, and it just kind of I don't know. Like I said, when I saw that ad, while everyone else was knee-jerk reacting pissed, I was like, yeah, dude, Nintendo, do it, because I've been waiting for it for a while. And again, I don't want to spend more money. I just understand why we need to. So.
Right. So game of the month coming up next week. I got to imagine, Roots, after that, we're going to be back here talking about Wanderer, right?
Yeah. I wanted to go into Wanderer before this one, and then I found out that I had a couple bugs I needed to fix, and I thought, well, we'll go to this one instead first. It was my
from what I'm hearing, all of the jank and bugs in that game are like late game. So like It's
Plenty of time.
safe for you to get in there and put 6 or 8 hours into it right now without any issues whatsoever. So.
If I can get on the boat in the beginning, on the skiff,
Oh my
Roots.
God, remember
I'm
that?
happy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Not only can you get on the boat routes, but there is a fucking jump button.
Oh my God, there you go. I think every game should have a jump button. I think
agree.
it just needs to happen.
So yeah, we've got Hitman here. We've got Wanderer coming up next time. Eric, it wasn't that long ago when we were sitting here talking about Arc and Age, like it was going to be a shoe-in for Game of the Year. Something tells me that some competitors have finally stepped into the door.
Yeah, I mean, we're so early in the year still. There's so many games that are supposed to going to
Dude,
come out yet.
the Midnight Walk's coming out next month.
Yeah. Out of Sight's coming out next month.
Oh, Out of Sight's coming out, and that reminds me, we're gonna probably be having our good friend Andreas Juliusson from Fast Travel Games coming on, and
I know that guy.
I'm going to, yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. I asked him a couple of months ago if he wanted to come on ahead of this launch and just do a standard interview. He doesn't have to play after the fall this time. Like, just wanted to come on and do a standard interview with us, and he said, yeah. So I still got to get up with him and pick exactly when it's going to be, but that's something else for everyone to look forward to in the coming weeks. We're going to have that guy on. So
I'm just realizing, Wes, you're a freaking hoarder in this game, dude. Like, he is every single thing he picks up, he's trying to put it in his inventory. That thing's
you
pretty
need
cool.
it, man.
That's true. You never know.
You need it. Anyway, but I think that's going to wrap up our episode, guys. We did it. We got another one in. So by our current standards, we'll be back in June.
Yes.
For the next episode.
Yeah.
No,
Damn.
Set your
just kidding.
clocks.
In all likelihood, I'll probably be back on here sometime tomorrow night, playing Vertigo 2. So
Ooh,
if you guys haven't.
You have an excuse now to just stream the fuck out of everything.
Yep. So if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed, ring the bell. It's time for us to get busy. And if we don't get busy on these episodes, Roots, it's going to be time for us to go on break before you know it and get ready for the 2025.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
time is flying.
Don't
This
even
is
say
what
that.
I tell my customers this all the time. It was okay when it was wintertime for time to fly by, but it's now spring. It needs to fucking stop. You know what I mean? Like this time flying thing. If I turn around and my summer's over again, I'm going to flip out. I need more time.
Word. So subscribe, ring the bell. If you want to do a little something extra to support, you can support us on Patreon. Linked in the description below. $3 per month. That's all we ask for. Although I'm thinking about putting a tariff on it so that now it's $4. Because the other Patreons out there, yeah, exactly. The other Patreons out there are not playing fairly. We can't compete.
Yeah.
So
what are we gonna do?
Yeah. So we might move it up to $4 or $5, but it's still $3 right now. Exclusive gameplay. That's really the biggest thing that I've got to offer Patreon right now. When we get back into doing numbered episodes on the regular, obviously we'll start putting the show notes back up again. But shout out to everyone who continues to support on Patreon, even with our irregular schedule that we've been on for the last forever. I really appreciate the continued support. Again, things are tight. Money's hard to come by, so we understand. If you can't support on Patreon, that's why it is 100% free to join the Virtual Strangers Discord, which is also linked down below. There's an invitation there to join our community. That's where we hang out and talk games. We talk life. We watch people go to jail on the regular. We share movies, we share music, we share laughs, and it's a great community. It's the best thing that we've done is the Discord. So come on in and join. You will be greeted at the door, I assure you.
Just wipe your feet. Track that mud in here.
Yes, Grandpa Barbecuer, I did just do the Nintendo School of Commerce. So, good call. Arcanage could beat Hitman or GT7, says Corey Reviews. Well, that is a conversation for another day, but I don't think it's so clean and clear. I think it's a good conversation to have. I think we're extremely fortunate that we can have that conversation. It's been a good year so far.
Yeah.
And a lot of year left to go. Anyway, that's going to wrap it. That's our show for Ruuts and Eric. I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, probably.
Maybe.
Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.